Hi, I'm Alpha Trivette, and here's my 5-minute morning show. I'm going to start the clock right now and say hey to Double D, who has become a fan, and thank you for the comments, Double D, and I appreciate your watching this every day. To my buddy Pat McNulty in Denver, who is now a contributor to Playboy. I mean, well, he's been a contributor to Playboy ever since he would spend his paperboy money to buy the magazine, but now he's actually published in it, so congratulations to my friend Pat. All right, here's your brain stretcher for today. This little item was invented 30 years ago this month, and its inventors were just recently inducted into the Inventors Hall of Fame. What little item is this? And oh, by the way, you've probably used it already today. What do you think? We'll have the answer for you in about, 4.5 minutes or so. Meanwhile, let's talk about some good news and some bad news. There's some really good news. Ford Motor Company says they have made a profit, $2.1 billion in the last quarter. Wow! It's incredible, isn't it? Especially since they didn't take any bailout money. They refused to because of the restrictions that would be placed on it, and because of the fact that the government was going to pretty much own them. So they said no. $2.1 billion. Meanwhile, General Motors, well, they claim that they have paid back some of the bailout money. In fact, they claim they paid it back, all of it, with interest. And then I said the other day, I talked about this, and I asked at the time, where'd they get that money? Sales haven't been that great because they paid back like $13 billion. How do you do that? Well, it turns out you do that by not really paying it back and saying you did. Here's how it works. They got, let's say I borrow money from you. You give me $100. You don't care because it's not your money anyway. So you give me $100 gladly. And then a little bit later on, I say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pay you back. So if you'll give me $125, I'll pay you back with interest. And you go, sure, because it's not your money. So you take $125 of other people's money, give it to me, and I go, there you go. There's your $125 with interest. Wait a minute. By my calculation, you still owe like $225 now, but you don't care because it wasn't your money to start with. That's the way this thing's worked. They have paid this thing off with more bailout money and then paid a little extra and said, hey, you got it all. We're done. Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? That's the way this thing works. And now in D.C. today, there's a deficit commission. They're going to figure out how to lower the deficit. They ought to be able to because they created it. You'd think they'd be able to fix it, wouldn't you? But they can't because they throw the wrong solutions at it. Fix the deficit by spending more. I know for my household, if I make less money, I can't spend as much as I used to. I don't have the money to pay for it. But this commission made up of congressmen and senators, former, and one guy who's a head of a union whose pension fund is in the red deeply. I mean, he certainly knows about deficits, but he doesn't know how to fix it. So what do you think they'll recommend? You think they'll say, we need to cut spending drastically, even if it hurts? No. You think they're going to say, we need to throw more money at it? Yeah, probably. And you think they're going to say, we need a value-added tax? Yeah, most likely. That's what they're going to do. They're going to say, we need to add a tax to the value of a product as it's produced along the way. It'll total up to about 25%. So we'll use $100 again. You buy a $100 item, it's going to cost you $125 now because of the value-added tax. If they pass it, and in all likelihood, they will. Same thing Great Britain did, and you see what they've got? High unemployment, bloated yet weak federal government, and people on a lot of subsidies, and they even have a candidate who suggested, we need to give unemployed people money so they can go on vacation. What? Yeah, he says they need stress relief. Yeah, I'm sure that's a great idea, yeah. Here's some bad news. There's that oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, the oil rig that exploded. Well, now it's leaking about 42,000 gallons a day, and there's an oil spill the size of Rhode Island. Well, that's not good news for people like me who believe we need to be drilling in the Gulf. Our other options are these. We could quit driving automobiles and heating our homes. We could continue to get oil from those countries that hate us and wouldn't mind jacking up the price and certainly wouldn't hesitate cutting off the supply of oil in case we had some sort of conflict. Or we can wait for the Sunshine Fairy to come down and create these magical solar panels that will heat all our homes and provide all our energy, and then make a carburetor that runs on beer, pee, and cow farts. What's your choice, huh? What do you think? All right. Here's the answer to the brain stretcher for today. 30 years ago this month, this little item was invented, and its inventors are now in the Inventors Hall of Fame. It's the Post-it note. There you go. Couldn't live without them, could you? Well, probably could, but wouldn't want to. Oh, and here's a little item for you. Check it out. They may have discovered Noah's Ark. Yeah, I'll have a picture and more on the blog, so check it out. I'm Alpha Trivette. That's my 5-minute morning show. We'll see you next time.